So, what is your name?
My name is Harold, Harold Johnson, Johnson.
What got you into flying?
What got me into flying? Well, we moved here in 1946. I just turned 11 years old, and the airfield was covered with airplanes. There were airplanes all over the place. We moved into an apartment, and there were little twin-engine training planes parked in our front yard. So I had a nice playground there with airplanes in it. And then as I grew up and got older, I started hanging around the airport down here and helping them wash airplanes and prop airplanes and cook hamburgers and that kind of stuff for them, you know. And so I just got interested in flying. And they didn't pay me money at the time, but they gave me some free flying lessons. Okay, so I got to go ride in the airplanes, and they taught me how to fly the airplane. And then later, after I graduated from high school, I moved up into Missouri and got a job working at an airport up there, first as a mechanic's helper, and then I became a link instructor. So they had this little blue box. We have one back in the corner you can look at. And the link was used to teach the pilots how to navigate with their radio equipment and also how to fly on instruments. So it was a safe way to fly and to teach them, because they didn't crash in the link and kill themselves, okay? But so you'd get in there and you'd close the hood, and you'd have to fly the airplane just by the instruments. So you'd take off using the instruments, keep the airplane straight down the runway, and climb out and make turns, and then turn your radio on and start doing some navigating with your radio. So we gave them about 25 hours in the link trainer, teaching them how to fly that. And then later, I went to Spartan School of Aeronautics out in Oklahoma and became an instructor out there and taught people how to fly the link trainer and taught them their ground school courses, and then taught them in the airplane. So I became an instructor in the airplane also. So that's kind of how I got into it. All right?
Okay. You didn't pay money to learn how to fly? I think I'd choose to learn how to fly.
Yeah, exactly.
How long have you been flying for?
Well, let's see. I started flying and got my license, I suppose, in about 1951, probably. So that's been a long, long time ago. Right?
Yeah, that's a long, long time.
Yeah, about 75 years, more or less, okay?
Okay.
Almost.
So, what is your favorite plane to fly?
Well, now that's a good question. I started flying in what they called a J3 Cub, but I'd ridden in other airplanes. I'd ridden in an Air Coupe and a Luscombe, and so I learned to fly in the J3 Cub, and that's what I soloed in. But the company I was working for over here also had what they called an Aranca Champ. The Cub, you flew from the back seat, and you couldn't see quite as well in that as you could in the Aranca Champ. In the Aranca Champ, you flew from the front seat, and you had more plexiglass around you, and you could see out better. So I kind of liked the Champ better than I did the J3 Cub. And then later on, I started flying for an airline, and I flew a DC-3, and flew a Martin 404, and flew a DC-9 jet airplane. And of those airplanes, I probably liked the DC-3 a lot, but I liked the DC-9 even better. Didn't care much about the Martin 404. It wasn't my favorite airplane, okay?
Okay. So what was your funniest time to fly?
My funnest time to fly? My funnest time to fly. Well, let's see. When I was a kid and just learning to fly here, and we didn't have a restaurant on the field, and up at Pocahontas, they had like a Dairy King or something like that, like a nice Dairy Queen across the street from the airport. And so my friend and I would hop in our airplanes, and we would fly up to Pocahontas and land, and walk across the street and get us a milkshake at the Dairy Queen, and that was fun. Okay.
I love that. I love Dairy Queen. I think
Yeah, that
the
was really good.
I think the only thing I get is like an Oreo.
But I thought it
Blizzard.
was, you know, there's not many kids that can hop in an airplane and fly to a Dairy King and Queen and get something to drink, right?
No.
So that was a good time.
So what was your scariest time flying?
Oh my goodness. Well, scariest time flying. Well, in 1962, I was flying out at Spartan School of Aeronautics, and I was up one night on a bright moonlit night giving a student some flight instruction, to